Today, we're talking about my 5 biggest life mistakes, and I'm sharing with you right now so that you hopefully don't have to live through them like I did. Hey, welcome back to another episode of The Row. My name is David. Today, we're getting a little personal. Hopefully, it's not too personal, but today we're talking about my 5 biggest life mistakes that I've made so far. Obviously, learning, growing, continuing on my journey. But I've made some pretty big mistakes, some pretty dumb things that I've done in my life. And honestly, some of these may resonate with, one or two of them may resonate with you, but I don't think anybody's made as many big dumb mistakes as I have. But I'm not trying to beat myself up, but I do want to use this opportunity to share what I've learned in my life's journey with you. So hopefully you don't repeat some of those same mistakes. If I were in my 20s, I wish I knew what I know now, right? Like I think all of us as we get older, we look back and we're like, man, I wish I knew how to handle that situation better. Well, today we're going to talk about 5 of the biggest ones that I've made and what I should have done differently. And hopefully that might help you in your life. If you end up enjoying this kind of content, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. These are not in any particular order. And if I had to sit down and really think about it, I probably could put them in an order, but it's not really the purpose of the video. It's just to get those 5 out here. These are 5, at least the biggest ones that leapt to my mind. And number 1 was, I wish that in my 20s, I would have taken my health, my fitness, skincare, those types of things. I wish I'd have taken them into, made them a greater priority in my life. You know, a lot of us, we come through high school. We were fairly athletic in high school. We were fairly thin in high school. We were fairly, together in some ways, I guess. Our parents are helping us still. We're, maybe not going too crazy yet. But then we get into college, and I feel like a lot of us kind of let things go. We start picking up bad habits. We start just maybe not doing the best things. I know for me, I ended up getting married very early. I got married at 21, and what ended up happening is, well, once you get married, it's like, well, I guess I can, it's not like you intentionally gain weight, but maybe you don't go to the gym as much. Maybe, and weight starts accumulating. And maybe, you're in your 20s, you don't really need to go to the doctor, right? So now you're not going to the doctor maybe quite as much as you did when you're in high school, when you had to go do a physical every year. And then, you have kids, and then they become that priority, and you don't go to the doctor to take care of yourself. You're not working out because you're always tired. You're always busy. You have to focus on work, and you're not taking care of your skincare and personal stuff like that. And I wish that's something that I would have done a better job with. I started in my late 30s to actually put anti-aging cream on around my eyes and stuff, put on more sunscreen and not just get burnt all the time every single summer. But I didn't start until I was probably 39 doing that kind of stuff. And I wish I would have started in my 20s for like the gym, getting fit and staying healthy and stuff. I didn't really, from 20, probably 3, again, married at 21, from 23 until 35, I let myself go. And I didn't go to the gym. I didn't work out. And finally, in my 35, 36, I started working out and lost a ton of weight. Ended up losing 70 pounds. I've gained some of that back from what you're seeing right now. But again, working on it again. But I ended up losing 70 pounds over like 2.5 years and really got in really good shape. And I just wish that, that journey was very, very difficult. It would have been much easier just to not gain the weight in the first place, keep going to the gym, keep trying to be healthy, keep getting exercise, keep staying physically fit. But I didn't. And so I guess that's what I should have done, but I didn't. The second mistake that I made, again, not second in order, but just in how it's being presented, is I ended up cashing out part of my retirement account to satisfy some other financial need. Now, in my case, me and my first wife, we were in the middle of building our, dream home. We're going to be in this house until the kids are all done in college, and then we move out of Virginia. This was where we were going to be. My parents, my mom and my stepdad were going to move in with us. We were going to have an in-law suite in the basement. It was going to be this great thing, blah, blah, blah. I was at a good point in my career. I was like, okay, well, in order to do this, we ended up deciding to get some additional money to put down. I pulled out some money from the retirement account, a good portion of the retirement account. That was really dumb. And I was like, well, I'll cash out, the penalties and stuff that I paid. And I know I could have done a loan against it, and there's reasons why I didn't. I understand. But I ended up cashing it out because I could take the tax penalties, and it worked well. Talked to my accountant, it was a better option. And I'd be able to end up socking it back later. Anyway, that was the idea. Dumb move. Don't ever cash out your retirement account unless you absolutely must do that. The better thing to do would have been, at the time we were already in a home. It was a nice, beautiful home, nice neighborhood. There was no reason we had to move to that dream home and build this, whatever. But it was a mistake I made. My ex-wife she wasn't pushing for it. It was literally me. I was like, I wanted to do this. It was, anyway, she was okay with it, but it was my deal. So dumb. So dumb. So anyway, the lesson is what I should have done is I should have just kept saving, stay in the house where we were. We were comfortable. There was no reason that we had to move. Financially, one, probably should have never even considered the other house even later, because the house we had was more than adequate and it would have saved a ton of money. And anyway, what ended up happening down the road is while the house was under construction, I decided to end my marriage. And so, so we split up, and the house was not even built. I never even lived in the house. I never spent one night in that house. Ended up renting it out for a couple of years and then selling it. But I lost all of the money that I put into it. And so it was a terrible idea. So don't cash out your retirement. I know you may need it for medical bills. You may need it for this. Make sure it's the absolute last thing that you do before you cash out your retirement. The third thing that we're going to talk about is, getting married before you're emotionally ready. Now, again, I was 21 when I was married, and I'm not going to say if you got married at 20, 19, 20, 21, I'm not saying you're not emotionally ready. I was not emotionally ready. I was, frankly, oversharing. I was a very emotionally immature person, and I probably still am. If you talk to my wife now, she'll probably be like, okay, yeah, you are. Something obviously just in my character, but I was not ready to get married at 21. I thought I was, but I truly wasn't. I had issues from growing up that I hadn't dealt with that I should have before getting married. In addition to, in general, I was just very immature. And getting married at 21 when you're very immature is just a dumb thing to do. Anyway, luckily, I have 4 beautiful children out of that. First marriage, love them dearly, and I'm so grateful for them. But my advice to all of you, slow down, take your time. If she's the right one, if he's the right one, it'll work out. Be patient, take the time you need, deal with your stuff, because we all have stuff that we need to deal with, whether it be from growing up or things that happen in our lives. Get that stuff dealt with before taking a step like marriage. It's much easier to get married than it is to get unmarried. Now, the next one is, again, this, not to get too overly personal, but when you are dealing in relationships, whether it be girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever, be honest about where you're at in the marriage. Be honest about what you want from that marriage or relationship. Be honest about what's not happening that you need in that marriage or relationship. And this was a really hard one for me when I was going through my only divorce, the divorce from my first marriage. And number 5, biggest mistake is I regularly lose focus on what is truly important in my life. I get busy with channel stuff. I get busy with my regular day job stuff. I get busy with hobbies. I get rid of this, get distracted by these other things. And the reality is what's truly important are the relationships that we have, whether it be your spouse, your partner, your children, your grandparents. Those are the relationships that truly matter. None of us are going to be able to take our fishing boat to the afterlife. And when we're on our deathbed, we're not going to be like, man, I wish I'd have done more fishing. Well, maybe, but nobody's going to definitely, some of you actually might be, some of you might actually say that, but nobody is going to say, I wish I would have spent less time with my kids. The should have here is always take the time for your children, even when it doesn't seem like it matters, or even when it doesn't seem like they want it. Had a friend who, with him and his family, he used to do what's called forced family fun. And so they'd load up in the car and they would, kids weren't not necessarily into it. Wife wasn't necessarily into it, but it'd been too long. They hadn't done something as a family. They would pack up in the car and they would go do something together. And it was forced family fun. It always worked out. Well, I don't know if it always worked out, but I thought it was a great concept that should have, and the continuing to do is to always make sure you take the time to do the things with those people that you love, because those are the memories that you're going to cherish throughout the remainder of your life on this planet, which is going to go by way faster than you think. I should have a number 6, which is managing time. Time goes by so fast, and that's part of this one, I guess, and the whole thing about not making these mistakes. There are some mistakes you can't undo. You can do your best to try to make good on those mistakes and fix them and apologize and everything else, but some things can't be undone. So it's better to not make those mistakes in the first place. But these have been 5 or 6 mistakes that I've made, and hopefully because I made them and you watch this video, maybe you won't have to make them and you'll learn from me. And if not, what's a mistake that I left off the list that you recommend for people? Leave a comment below. Let me know what's something else that's just absolutely critical of a mistake that people make, just because then I can probably learn from you. Anyway, if you ended up enjoying this video, please smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We'll see you next time.